Hey guys, a great way to build your business, especially when you are newer in the business, is to host open houses. So, most of you probably know what open houses are, but I'm just going to tell you really quickly for anyone who doesn't. So, an open house is when there is a house for sale on the market. Typically, what happens is buyers schedule showings with their buyer's agents and they walk through the house with their agent, et cetera, et cetera. So, an open house is when someone literally holds a house open for typically 2 or 3 hours, typically on a Saturday or Sunday. So an agent will just sit at a house for 2 or 3 hours and let people walk through. So this is a great way to pick up buyers because the buyers don't have to have agents to walk through the house. So it makes it much more comfortable for them. There's less pressure and they can just stroll through the house at their leisure. And of course, like I said, it's a great way for you to pick up potential buyers, whether they end up liking that house or they don't. It's a great way to just meet people face to face that are obviously interested in potentially buying a house because while they're walking through an open house. So here's the checklist. If you get the opportunity to host an open house, either for someone else in our office or one of your own, these are the things that need to be done before and during your open house and after your open house to make sure that it's successful. You get the most opportunities you possibly can, and you continue getting opportunities. So, first things first, you pick up your open house signs from the office at least 2 days before the open house. So, if your open house is on Saturday, you're going to pick up the signs on Wednesday or Thursday just to ensure that you have the open house signs because these are extremely important for people to know that there's an open house happening. Secondly, Real Team is going to post the open house on social media. Make sure you share that open house on your social media. So, for a couple different reasons. Number one, you want people to know that you're in the business. And when you're sharing an open house and saying that you're hosting an open house, it leads people to believe that you're busy and you're actively in the business. Even if you don't have your own business yet, it's a good way to just get your name out there. And secondly, it's a good way to just drive traffic to the open house. If there's friends on your Facebook or your social media that are looking to buy a house or friends of friends or friends of friends of friends, it's just a good way to get the event out there to get more traffic. Third, show up 30 to 45 minutes early. This is worst case scenario. Your first open house, I would probably show up like an hour early, to be honest with you, but we need to be there at least 30 to 45 minutes early to do the following. We need to be prepared with balloons, a buyer sign in sheet, which is in the Google Drive, so you have access to that, and any goodies you want to bring. Sometimes people bring pens, sometimes people bring little water, sometimes people bring cookies, whatever you want to do, but you can bring little goodies to set everything up, and then of course your open house signs. So when you get there, you're going to set up the open house signs at the entrances of the subdivision if applicable. Obviously, if it's not in a subdivision, you can't do that, but if it's in a subdivision, we need to have open house at the entrances of the subdivision. We also need to have the open house signs on the street to direct potential buyers to the house. So if there's a subdivision and you have open house signs in front of the subdivision, when someone pulls in, when there's another crossroad, they need to know which way the open house is coming in from both sides of or from both entrances of the subdivision. So we need to have open house signs leading and directing buyers to the open house. And then we need to have an open house sign in the front yard. That's where the balloons come in, make it look fun, make it look exciting, have balloons so it catches people's eyes. So that's how you're going to set up your signs. When you go in the house, you're going to make sure all the lights are on, just like you would if you were showing a house, and make sure the house is show ready. 99.9% of the time, the seller is going to make sure that the house is show ready, but just make sure there's nothing laying around. They didn't forget to put a box of cereal that was on the counter in the cupboard, things like that. Just make sure it's ready for potential buyers to walk through. Next, you're going to set up your buyer sign-in sheet. So that's literally just a sheet where people write their name, their email, and their phone number. And it's just a great way for you to get contact info when you're building relationships. So you're just going to set that up. When someone walks in, you're going to introduce yourself and ask them to sign into the open house. Business cards. So we're going to make sure that we have business cards with us. You're going to set up your business cards. That way, again, when people are walking through and asking questions and you're building that relationship, you can give them your card so they know who you are and they will remember who you are when you call and follow up with them. And then obviously, like I mentioned, the goodies, the cookies, the water, the pens, whatever else you want to set, either on the counter or on the table, depending on the house. Obviously, you can set it up how you want. Next, our job at the open house is to just show everyone walking through that you're great and professional and build relationships the best you can. Not everybody is going to want to chit chat with you. Not everyone's going to open up to you, but your job is not to just open the door and sit there and not do anything. So you don't need to follow everybody around, but you need to be there. You need to be walking around. You need to be having conversations. You need to do exactly what you would do if you were showing a house, which is provide value and as much value as you can. So speaking of providing value, make sure you have the listing tickets to the house. So make sure you have the MLS listing ticket, 5, 10, 15, 25 of them, not 5 of them. You should have at least 25 of them when you're going to the open house. That way, if someone asks questions, it's right there. Hey, how many square feet is this? Hey, how much acreage is this? Whatever the questions are, you have it right there. And again, it's just another tool where you can hand it to them and say, hey, I already have this printed out for you. If you guys have any other questions about the house, let me know. But hey, here's what the taxes are right now, blah, 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 blah. That way you don't have to memorize all of the information. And then last but not least, once the open house is over and everything is cleaned up and you're out of the house, you need to call the listing agent if you're not the one that listed the house and update them. Tell them how many buyers came through. Let them know their feedback. Let them know if you expect any offers to come in, because that seller is going to be wondering the entire time that you're doing the open house how it's going. So make sure you call the listing agent right away so they can provide that information and provide value to their client. So to sum it up, open houses are a great tool to help you get business. It's a great tool to get you in front of people, to get you comfortable having conversations with people. Come ready with signs, balloons, a buyer sign-in sheet, your business cards, MLS tickets, and any other goodies you want to bring. If you have any questions other than that, reach out to your CSL and they will be sure to help you. Have a great day.